What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Real Spit from a Gangsta Gone Legit. Today, we have my man Reggie, aka Diesel, from Jackson, Tennessee. Welcome to the segment of Real Spit from a Gangsta Gone Legit, brother.
What's up, big dog?
How you doing, man? It's
Wonderful.
a pleasure to have you on this format. So, Reggie, I understand that you are a leader of the Vice Lords, and this is the Tennessee?
West Tennessee, yeah.
West Tennessee chapter?
Yeah.
Okay. So let us know. So you're from Tennessee.
Yeah.
I understand that you're just getting out of prison. You've been home for what? How long have you been home
3 years.
now? 3 years?
3 years, yeah.
Okay. And what did you go to prison for?
I went to prison for taking somebody's life and taking something from a person. So that's second-degree murder, which was dropped down to voluntary manslaughter. But they originally tried to give me a life sentence, and then they tried to give me 25 years at 100. And the taking something from somebody was for a robbery charge.
Okay. So you did 10 years of that? Did you do 10 years straight?
Yeah, 10 years and 3 months straight.
So how long were you in the gang before you caught that homicide?
I had recently just got official a couple years prior to that, because I had been pretty much false claiming my whole life, and a couple years before I went to prison, and that's what ended me there, led me there, eventually running with the wrong crowd, trying to be like them.
Okay. Now, when you say you were official, how did you become official? Who made you official?
Some big bros in the street said, you run around here claiming this, you bogus, we got to put you down right. You ain't finna keep false claiming out here, so,
Okay. So you were really a vice lord?
Yes.
Okay, and you went up the ranks to the point where you became a leader?
Yeah.
So, I understand that you moved to Boston recently.
Yes. I after my long stretch, when I went in there, I was still with the nonsense and still a gang member, still doing drugs, drinking in prison, putting in work for the gang, going to Supermax, just a lost soul. I like to call young guys as myself, how I was back then, sleep, just like walking around like a zombie. You sleep, you have no purpose, just, I was demonized. Like, I had no remorse for life unless you were somebody that I actually cared for. If I seen you or you were somebody around me, I was trying to figure out how to get in your pockets or how to take what you got.
Like, even if that meant, so taking what they had, that's whether it was monetary, money, jewelry, whatever, or even a life.
Yeah, even a life.
Even a life. Okay. Now, before I talk about where you are today with the change, because I'm sure, you came to a new state,
Yes.
You got away from where you were at. I want to talk a little bit about the prison. So you said when you were in there, you had to continue on with that lifestyle, and you had to rep for your gang, your hood, right? Of course. And I've been in prison as well, so I know how that goes. Now, when did you say, or what made you feel like enough is enough? I don't want to be a part of this shit no more.
It starts from how my perspective on it from the streets, thinking that we were a gang, and then when I went to prison, realizing that we were actually an organization and we were being misrepresented by our members. And when I landed on Supermax for putting in work for the gang, I was like, am I following a bunch of people who don't know where they're going? What is all of this for? Like, they tried to give me a life sentence, but I didn't get a life sentence. So God want to give me another chance. Am I going to waste it, or am I going to do something with it? Because I'm still young. So I came into the realization I was leaning on the fence of I want to get out of the gang. When I come off max, I did 2 years. I was leaning on the fence. I want to get out of the gang because I feel like they don't care about me. So when I came off, I was like, I want to go talk to the leaders and like express to them, like, I may be through with this. Like I said, I was undecided. So that's how they hit me with all the status, all the rank. That is like, we need you. Like, you ain't got to put in no work no more. You can hold this position, sit on the board, run this over here in West Tennessee. You good. So what I chose to do was represent us the right way, the political way. You know, get my guys up on their literature and educate them and teach them that we are not a gang, we're an organization, and we should move as such. We're supposed to build because we didn't start from that. So that's basically the approach that I took. And with that, on Max, I had a spiritual awakening because when they lock you in a box, a cage, you literally think about everything in your life from when you this big that you can remember. Stuff that you didn't know you can remember when you in a box by yourself.
Right.
And wreck, when you go to wreck out there, all you got is the sky and the cage. Like, you literally like an animal. You literally like a dog. Only thing you missing is that cage is a dog house. Right. That's the only thing you missing is dehumanizing.
Right.
So it's meant to break you psychologically.
Absolutely.
But it's supposed to rehabilitate us. So I educated myself on Max. Okay. It's crazy to say this. Max was the best thing that ever happened to me at this point in my life. What gave me the turnaround and have me to be the person that I am today. Like I said, I had to learn the hard way in life, but I thank God for the experience because the knowledge and the wisdom that I have yet gained today, you can't walk in no classroom, no professor can teach you.
That's right.
The knowledge that I have for these young kids out here, which is why I try to go to schools and give back and talk to kids. And yeah, that's on that part. So when I come off Max, they hit me with all the juice, give me all the rank. So in my heart of hearts, I'm really still not feeling it though. Because like I said, I'm not super religious, but I'm very spiritual and I'm a strong believer in God. Okay. So it was like my heart, it wasn't, I didn't have the heart to be like vicious how I was.
So you didn't want to continue with the gang at all, even though they said you don't have to put in no more work, but you felt like there's a part of you that needs to be doing something different and disassociate yourself with the gangs altogether. Is that right?
Exactly.
Okay. And I agree. Now, I want to go back to what you said about when you're in that box, when you're in solitary confinement, which is what we call the holder box.
Exactly.
Now, just like you, I've done a lot of time in prison, and I can agree to what you said as far as we don't want to really glorify it, so to speak, but you and I both know that there's nothing that we can't accomplish after being in the situations and things that we've been through. When we were in that box with ourselves, we had our thoughts. That's how I became the man I became. I learned a lot, as you did yourself, and I can agree to that and attest to that. Those thoughts are dangerous, and they don't want us. They try to break us mentally. That's what it's designed for. But when you are strong enough to, as yourself, as you, of course, you prove to do that because you changed. But when you can show them that you took that time to perfect yourself, learn more about yourself, learn about life, start teaching yourself self-education, they create a monster, brother, in a good way. Am I right?
I put that in my book.
All right.
They created a monster.
What book are we talking about, brother?
I'm currently still working on a book. I call it my masterpiece, but the title is called Reform, which the definition of that word means a change of heart. Because I had a change of heart. Like I just said, I didn't have the heart for it anymore.
So how do you go from being, because as I understand, you were a leader.
Yes.
You weren't just a gang member. So you came up the ranks. Yes. So if you're a leader, how do you come from having this heart that is cold-blooded and you're down for whatever? You're going to do what you got to do and change that to this person who now, we're not going to say soft, but now you have more feelings. You're more into seeing your brothers doing better and growing. How do you explain that?
I'm glad you spoke on that, because let me tell you why. I read the Bible. A lot of people, when they go to jail, they come super religious. I wasn't one of those people, but I would read anything. And I remember a certain passage in the Bible where they said David had took a life and he begged God to change his heart. He begged him, create me a new heart. And when I prayed every night on Max, I was one of the most messed up kind of people, criminals, because I was unpredictable. I didn't have a certain thing that I would do to a person. I was unpredictable because wherever I seen an opportunity to get anything to hurt anybody, I would do it. So I begged God to create me a new heart. And I never got restless at praying. Like I said, I gained a spiritual connection where I talked to God throughout the day. During the day, I was sober-minded. I had stopped doing the drugs. They still had drugs and alcohol, even on Max.
Right.
They have people that can get it to you. So I took the time to focus on myself. I called it my schooling, and I gained a connection with my higher power. And like I said, I never got restless at praying. And then one day it dawned on me, everything that I asked God for, to make me a new heart, to make me humble, to make me gracious, to make me grateful just for the opportunity that I'm going to get that another chance. Although it hadn't came at that time, my chance, that I knew that I felt I was ready for, because like I'm this different person now. You see so many people coming in and coming out, coming back when I got off Max. And I was just like, I just need one opportunity. Like, I just need one chance. So that's pretty much how I had a change of heart, which is why my book is called what it's called again. I never got tired of begging God to change my heart.
Man, and I'm glad you talked about change, because change is what that shirt you have on your, that sweatshirt that you have on your back, Gangsta Gone Legit, all that represents, brother, is change. That's it. You know, we're not going to even try to make up anything else. It's change. And you said something that really resonated with me. And you said that you wanted to, and I speak about this. I say you can't change some of the things about us. You have to change everything if you're going to change, right? And you're a prime example of change. You're a great example, because you're probably one of the few people I know that got out of prison after doing that much time and didn't play the game and say, well, you know what, I'm gonna go back to my hood. I'm gonna flip a little something again, or I'm gonna go get up with some of the homies, get my money right, then I'm gonna leave. Tell them what you did, brother.
I got on the first train smoking out of my city, and it's crazy because everybody, all of my gang members, they wanted me to come home. They was waiting on me. Like they was ready. They was all for it. And I'm the type of person, I listen to my spirituality, and I feel like when I get good thoughts or when something touch my heart, I try to go with it, because some people call it their conscience, some people call it God talking to them, and I just strongly believe in it's my spirit trying to guide me to the right direction. So it's a man who God sent to help me, and he's a great man. He's a family member, but even if he wasn't my family member, he's probably one of the best human beings I ever met in my life. He's the reason that I didn't get that life sentence, because he put up money for me. He's the reason that I'm up here. My uncle, he came to visit me when I was down there. Originally, I was going home. A couple months before I was getting out, originally I was going home, because like I had my grandmother's house to go, but I knew that wasn't the best thing for me. So my uncle and two of my cousins came to visit me 2 months before I was going to get out. And my uncle is a part of a program, AA, NA, and he connected with a lot of people who be on CNN 2020, speaking to the kids, going to the schools, Boys and Girls Club, the program called New Beginnings Program. And it's a great guy that run that program that take me out to talk to kids, which is my passion, to give back. So my uncle come to visit me. I'm talking to my uncle, telling him I don't never want to do drugs no more. I want to be able to talk to kids. I want to be able to speak to people. I want to be able to give back. Me today, sitting here, I try to dedicate the rest of my life to righting all my wrongs. Like, everybody have their different opinions on, oh, you may did this, or you may took a person's life, or you used to call shots on people or rob people, or whatever your view is on it. Some may respect it, some may don't. But me, what I believe is, I try to do nothing but give back to people. And you said it, and it touched me. Even if I could save one kid, that's humongous. And the amount of people that I touched today is mind-boggling. How many phone calls I get today. My life is so busy. My schedule is so crazy. Like, when you text me today, I was like, hey, if we got time, we can go now. Because, you know, I'm finna have to be here. But that's the beauty in it, being available. To be there for people. So like I said, I dedicate the rest of my life to trying to right all my wrongs, because God know my heart. And when I run across people who have certain negative vibes and bad auras around them, I just try to separate myself from people like that. I don't have to be around there. I'm not in a box with them no more. I'm not in prison, so now I can walk away graciously. And you had said something. You was like, you just said, we don't call each other soft because we change. You know what I say? I'm fine with calling myself soft. Like, I come away from that lifestyle, but I'm the type of person, when I'm in the gym working out, I move out people weight who be feeling like they got testosterone problems with their chest poked out.
They don't even know.
Like, I'm humble. Like, I don't want no problems with nobody, you know, but I will always remember what I've been taught. Like, I'm certified with my hands. I'm a boxer. But those stuff are only for defensive mechanisms to me in my life at this point in time, to protect my family. Or if somebody, you know, all in my space and I'm left with no choice. But these are stuff that I don't even think about. I try to not even think negatively. Because I look at the beauty in life. I live in the moments. Because I know what it's like to try to claw your way up out of hell, because I've been there.
So let me ask you. You left the gang. You're starting a new life here in Boston. When I met you in the gym, I have to be honest, brother. And it happens, and I know why you were like this, because a lot of people say that about myself. You had a little aggression about you when you approached me. So at first I was like, what's up with dude? You know what I mean? And we both can admit, once we talked, bro, was it not love? Did we not feel that vibe? And that's why you're on this segment, brother, because this is real spit from a Gangsta Gone Legit. And all we want to focus on is keeping it real. You know, no matter what it is, we, like you said, there's no judging us. We don't have to worry about, we're men. So we don't have to worry about showing compassion, giving someone a pass. Being in a situation, like in the gym, let's use that for an example. I run across all the big dudes and the testosterone, and they acting like they're tough, and they have no idea what we could do to them. You know what I'm saying? In a heartbeat. If I ever revert, it could be a problem. And that's why I, like yourself, I definitely have a relationship now, and I believe that there is a higher power that is directing my life and putting people such as yourself in it, so that we can make a difference out here for these young brothers. Now, here's another question about the gang that it came to me as you were speaking. You said that you left. Now, are you afraid for your life? Do you think that it's part of you leaving Tennessee to come up here? Is it because of fear from retaliation for your gang for you opting to get out?
People say that a lot when I tell them I left from an organization, but like I said, we've been misrepresented and called it a gang. But people say that, I thought you can't get out of the gang.
Right.
It's a little different when you're running, because in order, for me, because I'm a very smart person. So when I stepped down and went inactive, I just appointed another person in charge. You know, everybody want to be the man.
Right.
So I got put in a program in prison that granted me parole and said, you take this 9-month program, you're going home. So that's when I said, my freedom is more important than anything. Look, I'm stepping down. I'm handing this over to him. Don't nobody say nothing to me when you see me out in public. Don't throw nothing up to me because they watching me. They don't want me to go home. There was too much bad stuff on my name. Even when I stepped down and went inactive, I still have the STG sergeant coming to see me in the program asking me, do I know stuff? I'm telling them, I'm not with it no more.
I'm done. And meaning it.
And he said, you can tell me whatever you want to tell me. I know who you are. I know what your position. I know this. I said, yeah, it may have been true, but that's not me. I can't help you. Like I'm in the program. I can't. You know,
do you think
wouldn't help them no way? But you don't understand what I'm saying.
I do.
Yeah.
Do you think they're still watching you now that you're in another state as well?
That's a good thought. Cause I never thought about that. But it's possible. It's possible. But
I'll give my opinion on that. I would say yes. And the reason I would say yes is they don't want to see a black man with power to go legit because they know that's when you're more of a threat.
Yeah.
You know, and you have too much influence over others. So especially in being a leader role. That's what we do. We have influence, right?
Exactly.
So I would think that what you're doing right now is the best thing to do, because even if they're watching you, let them watch.
Exactly.
Just like the haters, let them hate.
Yeah.
They can't do anything to you as long as you're on this path. And when you met me and you said about the Gangsta Gone Legit, you said that was powerful, right?
It clicked instantly and made all the sense. And I was coming to you telling you I got your clothing line.
Right.
My girl bought it for me for a present and surprised me. She said, I think you'll like this because it coincides with where you come from.
Right.
And how did I run into you?
That's amazing, brother. And since you ran into me, I was looking forward to this interview, man, because I feel like this one here is going to be able to hit home with a lot of these gangbangers out there today. And that is really our mission, like to get them to understand what these streets are about. Now, I say this in every episode, and I'm going to say it now. My idea of the streets is they're fake. The streets love no one.
Definitely.
And I try to push that on these young brothers and let them know. So sometimes they'll come up and be like, but bro, what about all the shit you was doing, man? Like, so was it fake when you was running with Castlegate and Academy Homes, which that was my gangs, right? That I was affiliated with, right? And I'm like, nah, brother, you know what happened was, at the time I was running with them, I was ignorant. At the time I was running with them, I was blinded. I believed in all their codes. I believed in the streets had love for me, and they were gonna embrace me and all of that. Until I did my time, and I started seeing things for what it really was. The homies who were supposed to be there for life, and they're really jealous of you.
Yeah.
I've seen those things, and I'm sure you can attest to the same things, right?
Ain't no love in those streets, man. And it's crazy because, like, I was just listening to you again when you said, like, this one could be the big deal about the gang life. Like, I understand when you grow up with no father in the house. I grew up with no father in the house. I understand when you don't have no siblings, no brothers to run with. I was the oldest. I didn't have a big brother. So I looked up to the pimps, the hustlers, the gangbangers. And when all you know is this for your whole life, and you willing to die for this, I respect that. But does that make that right?
Right.
Just because you're willing to put it all on the line, does that make that right? If you can rep the set and the hood and these organizations so hard, imagine what we could do if we put all that energy into something positive. Because I'm gonna tell you now, and people hear, these kids hear it all the time. Living that life, you're gonna end up in the box or in jail. It's no way out. It's no success in the streets.
Right.
It's no success in the gang life. Like, especially when you're a leader, you're a walking target.
Right.
And I had quit smoking and drinking in there, so when the tension is so tight, you can cut it with a knife. Like when your eyes open, worrying about what's going on, I knew if they come get me, they gonna have to come correct because I'm never impaired. Mm-hmm. Which was a situation happened one day after I had got shipped, where it went down amongst each other. Not no gang riot, us vice lords against GDs. It was vice lords on vice lords. And it went down. And my security got stuck in the head 4 times. Big old guy. Never going home. And like you said, people envy you when you get a chance to go home. And I was walking the time down. But God knew what I didn't. Cause I'm over here getting money.
Hold on, brother. Say that again. Now I'm not a religious dude, but what you just said gave me goosebumps, bro. Say that again, man.
God knew what I didn't, and He took me out of a situation because I was getting money. Money was good. I'm sending money home to my mama for Mother's Day, birthdays, sending up bouquets of flowers at the door. On a Sunday, she getting it on Mother's Day. On a Sunday from prison. Everything you can name. So I'm getting it good. And one day they just mysteriously tell me, pack my stuff, I'm getting shipped. I don't want to get shipped because I'm getting money right here. I'm trying to build my bag up so when I go home. So they end up sending me to a born prison where nothing was going on there. And it's no violence, it's minimum direct where everything's cool. I hate it here. But that was the reason I ended up going home. And like I just said, the very next day, I got shipped. A riot went down. The prison was locked down like almost 4 months with the exact game. And it started. I can't make this up. Like one thing about me, I keep it real. And it popped off in the pod that I was in. Mm-hmm. And you know when a war going down, they're coming for the head.
Absolutely.
They're coming for the head.
Right.
And so it was no way that they could get me without me seeing it happen. So they're going to send them corrected. Mm-hmm. God saved me.
And there's no question in your heart, in your mind.
When I went up for parole, my mama came seeing me and we looked in each other's eyes. She almost cried because she knew what had happened. And she knew that I got shipped the day before.
And no reason, though. No one knew why you got shipped.
Nobody knew.
Wow.
But me getting shipped didn't have nothing to do with it. Me getting shipped had everything to do with it. I was getting the pack in, and somebody had told them. That's why I got shipped.
Oh, okay. So it actually, instead of it being a punishment, it actually worked out as a blessing.
Wow. That's why I said God know what I did.
Right, what you did, and I love that, man. I love that. So listen, before I let you go, man, I definitely I want you to pretty much look at the camera and just tell them. I want to talk directly to the young gangbangers and the young brothers who are out in these streets killing each other right now. Like, I'm sure you're aware of all of the young rappers that we're losing right now, man, in the nonsense and the senseless killings, right? So give them a direct, from your point of view, what would you say to them today about this life, man?
Basically, about the gang life and living in the streets, you gotta ask yourself, are you willing to die today and risk it all? And I've even spoke with young kids that say they willing to die, they ready to risk it all, but that ain't what life is about. Life is about seeing your kids grow up, seeing them graduate, watching your kids have kids. Because let's be honest, even if you're ready to risk it all, ask yourself, are you ready to die today? Are you ready to die today? If you really that hardcore and you ready to die today, you might need to talk to somebody that can help you free yourself out of that lifestyle, because there's more to life than repping the set and running with the gangs.
Yo, I appreciate that. That's real. And what I think that they need to understand, And I've heard, matter of fact, I have to give Gilly the King credit for this. He said, it's cool getting old. We got to let them know, man, I'm going to be 50 years old in a few days. I wasn't supposed to see that, brother. You understand? That we, you know, in the gang culture, we're told we're not going to live beyond 18. We're 16. So to be here, man, I think I'm pretty cool, man, you know?
Definitely.
But seriously, I appreciate you, brother. This has been a wonderful segment. We're going to have to come back and have you on again because I know we're pressed for time today. But we need to do a part 2 of your story because I know there's a lot more that you need to tell.
I'm honored.
Man, it was a blessing. I'm honored. Thank you so much.
Thank you, big bro.